America's about to go to war. And when she goes to war, she wants black and brown bodies. Now you're useful. They don't give a doggone about how black lives matter until they want to use black lives to accomplish their wicked ends. They're trying to provoke Iran. I would like to say to the president, Mr. President, it would not be a wise move for you, because you're already $23 trillion in debt, and you don't have any money to prosecute a war.
What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to my space. This is Ivan Strayola. Guys, thank you so much for tuning to watch this episode. I do not take your support for granted. Fam, as always, we bring real talks, context, and talk about the real conversations. Fam, on today's video, we want to talk about a video by Farrakhan where he warned President Donald Trump about his war, with Iran. Minister Farrakhan did deliver a sermon at Mosque Mariam in Chicago where he cautioned against the US war with Iran, particularly noting that black bodies would be exploited to advance America's agenda. Farrakhan criticized President Trump's pivot from the Iran nuclear deal, warning that provoking Iran could plunge the US into even greater debt and trigger a larger worldwide conflict. He emphasized that they want to use black bodies to achieve their wicked aims, a reference to deploying marginalized communities in a wartime. Family, I want you to watch this video as Farrakhan debunks and tries to explain why black folks should not enroll to these positions to be soldiers in these wars, because he says that the goal of President Donald Trump is to ensure that black people and the marginalized group, are the ones who get to be affected during these times. He urged humility and warned that weather, climate, and divine judgment were signs that America is in a wrath, with God in whatever America is doing, and specifically the leadership of the President Donald Trump. So fam, I want you to watch this video keenly. Once the video is done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this video together, family.
We're facing war now. Our president is making moves as a king. The former president, Barack Obama, and his Secretary of State, John Kerry, came up with an agreement with Iran and 5 of the strong members of the Security Council, the permanent members, that would keep Iran from developing an atomic bomb or weapon. Iran never said that's what they wanted. But when you're guilty of evil, and you see they have the technical knowledge to go to get a bomb, your fear of their having it causes you to say and do things. So this agreement was to limit and make it impossible for Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. Five plus one signed that agreement. China, Germany, France, England, America. But the king said, I don't like that. So he didn't feel bound to anything that his predecessor worked out. So he said, scrap it. And walked out on it. Without even considering what his predecessor had done with the cooperation of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council of the United Nations. He didn't like it. They talked about the money that they gave to Iran. They didn't give Iran no money. They had over $150 billion of Iran's money that they were holding. And part of the agreement was you'd give them back some of their money. Not all of it. And the demon was upset because he had to give back something that he felt he should keep. See, these are thugs. Now, we just went to Iran maybe 6 to 8 months ago. The minister spoke to the supreme leader, spoke to some of the highest religious authorities in Iran. Iran has 80 to 90 million people in love with the Mahdi, who are willing at any moment's notice to give their lives as a sacrifice for El Mahdi. So I went to Iran with a team. Brother Leonard, Brother Akbar, my son Mustafa, the Imam Sultan Rahman Muhammad, and my security people. It wasn't about making no accommodation with Iran. While I was on the airplane going to Iran, I was saying my prayers in the little cubby hole in the first class section. And I started to weep because in the middle of my prayer and my crying, because I wanted to be sure that that's what Allah wanted me to do. And I was assured that I was in the right place at the right time. I want you to listen.
Yes, sir.
What was my instruction?
Yes.
Since they love the Mahdi, I came there to introduce them to the man that they hope for. And I was reminded of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sending emissaries to Persia, to Rome, to Egypt, announcing himself as a messenger of God and warning them of the calamities or the wars that would happen to them. I never went there saying nothing about me being no messenger. I just went there delivering a message. Sometimes the weight of the message that you deliver tells the people that receive it who you are. Imam Sultan is here. When we got to Iran, I sent for him. I said, give me the knowledge of the history of the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he sent a message to the Khosrows of Persia, the Caesar of Rome, the leader of Egypt and Ethiopia. When he gave me a synopsis of it, well, I thought you knew. Well, a man does know. But I want to be sure I didn't have my books there. I had a message to deliver that had nothing to do with the books, but I wanted to see where my feet were going. So everybody that went with me, you know that I met with the generals, the supreme leader, the religious thinkers, and I told them that Al-Mahdi had visited with us. Wait now. If they had accepted that, 80 million of them would be behind us. I mean, not that we need 80 million people behind us. We have Allah and His Mahdi behind us. Now, America is provoking Iran. Iran has some technology that shot down an unmanned drone. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that it was 20-some miles in outer space over territorial waters belonging to Iran, and Iran shot it down. I mean, when you shoot down something that's far out, your technology must be pretty heavy. And then Iran told them you had another plane there too with people on it. We could have shot that down as well. Now, the world is not afraid of America. But our president wants the world to fear him. So coming out of the White House, they said that if Iran purifies some of that uranium, Israel would attack Iran and America would back Israel. This is from the senator from South Carolina. What's that got to do with your subject? America's about to go to war. And when she goes to war, she wants black and brown bodies. Now you're useful. They don't give a doggone about how black lives matter until they want to use black lives to accomplish their wicked ends. They're trying to provoke Iran. I would like to say to the president, Mr. President, it would not be a wise move for you, because you're already $23 trillion in debt, and you don't have any money to prosecute a war. So if you don't have the money to prosecute a war, the Federal Reserve is printing money every day. So you will have to come to the Federal Reserve to borrow money that you don't have to prosecute a war in a time when any little thing could cause the dollar to fall and the stocks to fall. In 1962, Brother Malcolm was our top spokesperson for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. One of my friends that we grew up together in Boston moved to LA and became the secretary of the LA Mosque, and the police attacked the mosque. And my brother, who was the secretary, came out of the mosque with his hands up, and they killed him. They shot and paralyzed other Muslims. Brother Malcolm was our spokesperson, but he knew what he wanted to do. He had to check it with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm wanted the FOI to kill police, create a war. So he came to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and said, they killed our brother, so we should retaliate. The messenger says, well, they could kill a few more. I will not put the resources of a nation into war on a provocation. Now, we didn't have much to lose except our lives and the focus of the nation on the word that had to be gotten to our people. Brother Malcolm was upset and angry that we didn't kill the police. I sat with him and he talked to me about provocations. Did you know that America put an embargo on Japan to get oil, which that nation needed? So when Japan could not get oil that it needed to run its industry, Japan decided to go to war with America. Any of you older ones that lived in New York, there was a 3rd Avenue rail subway that, I mean, when you get on that 3rd Avenue subway, it takes you up, I don't know how many feet above ground, maybe between 50 and 60 feet above the ground. They took that elevated platform down, and Japan bought it. And Japan turned it into aircraft carriers, battleships. And when they felt the time was right, they used their flag, the rising sun, and they attacked America at Pearl Harbor. Did you know that members of the Japanese people had come among us and made friends with members of the nation? Yes, sir. So the government of the United States knew that Mr. Takahari, I think his name was, had come to make friends with us. Anytime a foreign nation wants to make friends with the children of slaves, ex-slaves, the government becomes frightened. So in 1941, when Japan attacked, though the scientists told Japan not to do it, according to what our teacher taught us, Japan attacked, and the rest is history. They lost. They became occupied by America. The atomic nuclear bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki frightened the entire world that America was to be feared. When Japan attacked, Elijah Muhammad was called to be drafted. Elijah Muhammad said, I cannot fight for the infidel. He was 46 years old and the draft was from 18 to 45. But it didn't make any difference. They wanted him in jail. So they arrested the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Why are you bringing it up? When I was in Iran, they said Farrakhan was leading a chant. Death to America, death to Israel. Farrakhan never led no such chant. One of their news people during a press conference asked me to lead the chant. This was an Iranian, but he was an enemy. So I beat him up pretty bad, not physically. But I wanted America to know, and I want you to know, that this is our country. We paid a hell of a price to own some of this that we could call our own. This is the place of our birth. This is the place of our suffering. This is the place of our long night of tyranny under white supremacy. This is the place that God came for us. So I told them, don't any of you tell me if you don't like it here, leave. No, I don't like what you're doing to my people, but I ain't going nowhere. We know them. We know their history. I love this country. What? Yes. I love the plains. I love the desert. I love the mountains. I love the cities. I love the highways. I just love this place. Damn, you don't sound like Elijah Muhammad to me.
Family, that was a very, very powerful message, as always, by Minister Louis Farrakhan. Minister Louis Farrakhan did so well to try and fight for the rights of Americans, and specifically black folks, the marginalized groups in America, and the poor people of America. Louis Farrakhan has always been very, very vocal against any leadership and the white power structures that have always made life difficult for black people in America. He insisted that Donald Trump trying to insist to be at war with Iran would mean that he also wanted that black people be on the forefront of this war, that black people, die from this war. In this video, I went further to do my research, and here's what I found out according to the message that Louis Farrakhan was trying to drive in this video. Minister Louis Farrakhan, in July 21st of 2019, at sermon at Mosque Mariam in Chicago titled "A President Who Wants to Be King," was a powerful and direct warning to America, particularly its leadership, against waging war with Iran. I want us to do a deeper breakdown on the key themes that was discussed in this conversation. Number one is warning against war with Iran. Farrakhan forcefully cautioned President Donald Trump not to be deceived into launching war against Iran. His warning was spiritual, strategic, and historical. And I quote, he said, "You're being set up to make a mistake, Mr. President, and if you pull that trigger, you will bring about the end of the United States of America." Farrakhan has long expressed admiration of Iran's resistance to Western imperialism. He viewed the US government aggression towards Iran as a Zionist agenda, a Zionist-driven agenda, a repeat of failed imperialist wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. He also thought this as a direct challenge to divine will, which he believes favors oppressed nations resisting tyranny. Louis Farrakhan also discussed about President Donald Trump using black and brown people as cannon fodder. Farrakhan fiercely condemned the US, the government, and for historically and continually using black and brown bodies to fight wars for white capitalist interests. Louis Farrakhan wants black people and tells them this is not our fight. You know, they do not care about us. Let us not go outside there and try to fight a war that is actually a capitalist agenda. You know, he says, and I quote, "They don't care about you. You are their soldiers to die for their wicked aims." His message: the military-industrial complex profits off black death. Poor and disfranchised people of color and disproportionately recruited into the military through false patriotism or economic desperation. Farrakhan warned Black America, don't enlist in any war that is not yours. Farrakhan tries and tells black people that when we see certain wars that could actually be avoided, let us not enroll to them. These are capitalist agendas that will finish black people. There is no need for black folks to enroll to these wars. You know, he says that we should try and avoid such commitments. He positioned America as a modern-day Babylon, a mighty empire on the brink of collapse due to arrogance, injustice, and disobedience to God. Every empire that rose fell, and America is no exemption. That is a powerful one by Louis Farrakhan, and I repeat a quote that he mentioned: every empire that rose fell, and America is no exemption. The US has ignored the moral law and justice and mercy. Its collapse is being hastened by war, inequality, and spiritual blindness. Farrakhan believes divine judgment is already here through natural disasters, social unrest, and the moral decay that we see in America today. Farrakhan cited natural disasters, hurricanes, floods, earthquakes as signs that God is displeased with America's cause. God is angry, and he's using the forces of nature to humble this nation. You know, America has been going through a lot in the previous years, and this is just a way that God is trying to humble America. He sees these events as warnings from God, meant to urge repentance before destruction. This ties into his broader theology that weather patterns are not just random, but divinely directed in this era of judgment. Lastly, he tried to bring out a spiritual message to Black America. His sermon wasn't only about geopolitical issues, it was also a call for consciousness for Black people. He says that Black people should not be deceived by political lies. Recognize your true values as the original people of God. Separate mentally and morally from corrupt system. Unite and prepare for self-sufficiency. You know, he wants Black people to want to be people who can fully depend on themselves, be fully self-sufficient, create opportunities amongst themselves. He emphasized that black people should not sacrifice themselves for an empire that has never valued them. Overall, Farrakhan's sermon was not just a warning to Trump or America. It was a prophetic declaration. He combined theology, black nationalism, geopolitics, and moral clarity to call for an end to unjust wars, respect for oppressed nations, and the rise of black awareness and the rejection of blind patriotism. Family, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this amazing teaching by Louis Farrakhan. Myself, I found it to be very, very insightful, especially the fact that black bodies have been used over the years in wars that are actually having capitalist agendas that would never help black communities and black people in America. Fam, kindly like this video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users, and I'd be very, very grateful. Lastly, kindly do consider subscribing to the channel. We are currently on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and fam, we will never achieve this milestone if you all won't be able to share this video with your family and friends. Kindly share it widely. Fam, the goal of the channel has always been to endeavor to talk about black stories, black history, and ensure that black people are empowered, because if we give the white supremacists the opportunity to tell our stories, many a times our stories are distorted and whitewashed. Thank you, fam, and see you all in our next episode. Goodbye for now.